What's up, Bears fans? Your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360 back with another live recording, live show for you today. Listen, we have a hot one for you today. Listen, on this Sunday, we're talking about Caleb Williams. We're talking about is a table set for Caleb. Is Caleb walking into the best situation of any NFL, potentially, any NFL rookie quarterback, first round pick ever in the history of the NFL? We're going to talk about that. It's so much more. Y'all know what's next. Cue the intro, Maestro. Let's go.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
And just like that, we're back, Bears fans. Do me a favor as you come in. If you're watching this on a playback, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this live, share it on your other platforms. The family is growing. The 360 Nation is growing, and I appreciate you guys for tapping in. We got new members. Man, we got super chats going on. Also, I want to remind you that the super chat is live, man. The super chat is open. And of course, y'all know the rules. You know what I'm saying? The members get access to the questions answered first, then the super chats, and then we get to the rest of you guys, man. I got to prioritize those dudes as part of the setup. I appreciate y'all. So we're talking about whether Caleb is set up for success, or he has the most, the best infrastructure built around him for any rookie first-round draft pick quarterback ever. Now, the way we do it on the show today, the way we're going to do it today is we're going to do first topics last, right? We're going to talk about that last because I know it's going to get a little bit intense in debate. Feel free to debate in the comments. Do what you do, man. Just don't get disrespectful to one another. Just keep the vibe easy. It's Sunday, man. Stay easy like Sunday morning, as the Commodores would say. Y'all probably too young to know what the Commodores is. I'm actually too young to know what the Commodores is. That's my people. That's my parents' music. But you know, Sunday morning, Saturday cleaning the house. I heard the tracks. Easy like Sunday morning. Stay easy like Sunday morning in the comments. You know what I'm saying? But feel free to debate, dispute. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just take it easy on one another. But we're going to handle that last. The whole Caleb set up better than any quarterback in the history of the NFL. We'll handle that last. Let's talk about, you know what I'm saying, some other things that's going on in Bears land, Bears Twitter. I got a question for the chat, man, because this popped up across my timeline today, and I got a question for you guys because I just want to know, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do a status check, a barometer check, if you will. This popped up in my timeline, and I think I've only been on Bears Twitter, Bears X last 2 years. I saw this last year. I feel like we moved the needle in this whole Bears media, DIY media game, but I wanted to ask the audience, how we doing? Because apparently we didn't make the list, Chicago Bears 360 Nation. We didn't make the list of the top 64 media, Bears DIY media outlet tournament that they have every year. And I wanted to see how you guys felt about that. Do you guys think that Chicago Bears 360 should be in the bracket? Should we have made the top 64 of, you know what I'm saying, this bracket here put on by, I forget the name. Let me go get the name here real fast. And this tongue in cheek, man, we're having fun with it. Mohammed does this every year. Mohammed Noorani. I actually posted the link. I posted the link to this actual post in the description. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can let y'all's feelings be heard on the subject, on the link. I'm not telling y'all what to do, but if y'all think Chicago Bears 360 should be included in the tournament at least next year, if you think we're one of the top 64 channels out there doing this Bears DIY media thing, I think you should let your voice be heard. I'll let y'all decide. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm ultra competitive. You know what I'm saying? Just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the history. Coach, player, former Marine. I listen. I love competition. I don't run from no smoke. I don't dodge no smoke whatsoever. So if we're not authentically, organically part of the best 64 media, Bears DIY media folks out there, listen, we just gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Hard work, as the saying says, hard work beat talent. When talent don't work hard, we just gonna keep it coming. We just gonna stay on their head dropping content. But again, I wanted to know how the 360ers felt about that out there. How y'all feel about that? I thought it was entertaining, to say the least. Either way, we gonna keep dropping that hot content for y'all to keep it going. Listen, by the way, we got some great stuff coming up, and I don't know how I missed this, but I skipped straight to April because I thought this week was the last week, and I forgot. I skipped straight to April, and I mentioned that we have Greg Braggs on the show next week. It's not next week, it's the week after. It's the first week, Thursday in April. Next week, we have Harrison Graham from Bears Now, the Bears Now channel, on the Thursday show. Friend of the program. You know what I'm saying? You know, Harrison knows me. I know Harrison from different interactions and stuff. All positive, you know, all love. You know what I'm saying? So Harrison is going to be on the show next Thursday. We get to talk about Bears football and all that other stuff. Harris going to catch us up on little PJ out there, his new baby and whatnot. But yeah, that's next. That's this coming up Thursday. Harrison Graham from Bears Now will be on the channel. After that, it's going to be Greg Braggs from CHGO on the channel. And then the week after that, your boy Lawrence Holmes from 670 The Score on the channel. So either way, whether we make the top 64 or not, we got those hot interviews coming. So we're going to keep them coming. We're going to keep working hard and try to bring y'all the best content and analysis about Bears football. None to say more, less, or say less on that. We'll keep it moving. Listen, next topic real fast. Let's talk about it. I want y'all to talk about it in the chat. I want y'all to add your comments. Make sure you go ahead and put those comments out there. Make sure you let's run the super chats up. Listen, what should the Bears do at number 9, right? If we assume that Caleb is going with the number 1 pick, that number 9 pick is going to be really, really critical to fill out this roster, right? And you had different ones on the show. I've had different ones on the show talk about, you know, what the remaining holes are in this roster. Obviously, Ryan Poles got to the place where he felt like it was time to take the swing. The swing is what I call you're making the swing, in the sense that we get out of the mindset of continuing to build the roster, per se, air quotes, right? Focus on just adding pieces, and you're actually swinging for the Super Bowl. You're actually making the swing. So Ryan Poles thought it worthy to trade Justin Fields. We're past it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Justin. Think he's going to do great things in Pittsburgh. You know, I prefer he sit for a year behind Russ. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, fall in love with the game again. Really get to understand Arthur Smith's offense intimately, right? And understanding where all the holes are, where you go in different coverages versus certain pass plays versus different coverages. Like it's a lot goes into it. So I want him to sit for a year and watch behind Russell, get to see and benefits from some of Russell's mistakes, right? But coming back to the Bears, what do we do at number 9? What are the holes? Obviously, Ryan said it was, hey, it's time to take the swing. I got to take this quarterback, right? I got to take this quarterback because he's, quotes, generational, right? Now it's time to take the swing. What do we do at number 9? Do we keep the pick? Do we pick a particular player, right? Do we go a different position? Do we go left tackle if a tackle's there? If Joe Alt's there, do we go with Alt? If it's an edge rusher there, do we go with Verse? Do we go with some of the other bigger names, Latu, at that position, right? Do we go with the trade back with the hopes that one of the other players will be there still, and we can get a combination of both edge rushers or particular tackles? I've heard some discussion about potentially Brock Bowers being there, and it'd be a no-brainer that we take him. I don't agree with that. I think having a Brock Bowers at that 9 position Although it would be a good thing, it would be a luxury. You play football from the inside out. You have to win on the D line and the O line first. And I think we have too many holes in those areas to bypass those guys if we're not willing to address it through free agency, right? Still, or a trade, that we have to bypass that. And if Brock is there and people want him, right, then that could be a potential trade partner for you to move back and still get your guy, right? So heard a lot about him potentially being there. And like I said, if he's there, that's leverage for Ryan Poles, in my opinion. But you guys, what do you think we should do there, right? We had a discussion with Greg Gabriel on the show Thursday and about the tackle position, about Braxton Jones. And if Joe Alt was there, and we saw the video clips out there of SEMO, Chris Morgan, working with Joe Alt at his Notre Dame Pro Day and all that other stuff. And, Joe Alt could be a linchpin type of tackle. I don't want to y'all know how I feel about generational and giving a kid too much before he's earned it in the NFL and all this other stuff. So this is not going to be the hyperbole platform. I hope y'all understand that. I'm not hyping nobody. Mainly the platform is built off the film, right? And what I can see on film. And once I stamp it, I stamp it. Hey, this is that dude, or he's making progress. He's progressing in the right direction. I believe in it. But I do believe Joe Alt can be a good to great left tackle in the NFL. In the film studies I've done on him, I have concerns about certain things about him. Namely, his quite naturally, he's a tall guy. So his bend is going to be difficult for him at 6'8", right? But just like his lateral quickness and movement overall, the fluidity of his movement gives me slight cause for concern, right? But I think he's still up there. But at the same time, I believe, like I told Greg on Thursday, that Ryan, Ian, and SEMO probably believe in their ability to spot offensive linemen and identify offensive linemen better than any of the 31 other teams in the league. Now, whether that leaves them open and vulnerable to making more mistakes, I don't know yet. The verdict is not out for me on that yet. I think they did a good job with Braxton and finding and identifying Braxton and getting him from 5th round to serviceable NFL left tackle in the league, which I thought was crazy when it happened. I was totally against it because I don't like rookie left tackles and centers, right? I just thought it was a tall task, but the first year he struggled a lot. The second year he's a little bit better. I think this is his 3rd year. What happens? Does he put that extra weight on so he can anchor better going into that 3rd year or what? I don't know, but I think their mentality is we're better than the 31 other teams at identifying tackles. So, and in my opinion, and Greg agreed with me on the show Thursday, I think they love Braxton. I think they love what they've done with Braxton and development. He's like a trophy on their shelf to a degree. And if they can get him to turn the corner even more in the 3rd year, then they put the stamp that they know how to identify and develop talent up front, and they can go to that. On the same note, they signed some questionable free agents that they haven't necessarily hit on. On the same note, they've drafted a guy that was a hit too, right? So you could say they're 50-50. As long as they stay away from, they've had more trouble in free agency identifying guys than they have developing guys and drafting guys. So it's as you can hear, I'm not really fully confident in their what looks like their process, if you will, right? Their mindset. It's yeah, we can develop guys, kind of, sorta, right? Or do it this way. Y'all give them a grade on these 3 areas. 1, identifying on a scale of 1 to 10. Y'all let me know in the chat. Identifying and developing offensive linemen, late round offensive linemen. What's your grade? 1 to 10. You give them a 6, you give them a 7, you give them a 10. What do you give them? Right? The signing of free agent offensive lineman. What is your grade? 1 to 10, right? And the drafting of offensive tackle or offensive lineman talent. What grade do you give them? Because I think those are three different nuances, and I think they deserve 3 different grades. And I'm not completely there. I just hate for them to overestimate their ability to do the tackle position and miss big time, right? So what do you do there? Wide receiver, D end, D tackle, left tackle, center at number 9, or you trade down. I'm of the mindset you trade down with only 4 picks, especially if Brock Bowers is on the board. You trade down. If there's players below that you feel like you can still get and get a 2-for-1 deal. I tend to like second round, early to mid second round players better than I do a lot of the first rounders anyway. But I think it's what I want them to do versus what I think they would do. If Joe Alt's there, I want them for Caleb's sake to get Joe for the next umpteen years. Have Caleb and Joe work together and be together and, you know what I'm saying, partnered up for, you know, the foreseeable future. If Caleb's the picks, of course, all that other stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know, I know, and I'm not trying to be dismissive. I know it's a valid conversation, but I'm just not here for the debate. Not right now. At this moment, I'll mention it, I'm sure, through the program that Jaden Daniels is a serviceable, more than serviceable option at QB1. I like DN a lot better. I like interior defensive lineman at number 9 or the trade back first option after trading back for this second pick, whatever the second pick is, whether it's at number 9 or down lower. I like DN or interior defensive lineman, right? I just think that we need more disruptive guys up front in the D line to make problems for the opposing team. The other thing is, I believe largely that part of the strategy for this football team early on is going to be to run the ball and play good defense, control the clock, right? Shorten the game, meaning by running the ball, keep the clock moving, shorten the game, and play great defense. And in order to play great defense, we need another dog up front, whether it's in the interior, right, or this the outside. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that we use Javon Dexter sometime to rush on third down. So they'll move him outside to create some mismatches. They believe in his ability in one-on-ones versus tackles. So I think it gives us the option to play to go interior defensive line and exterior defensive end or edge also, because they use those guys. They just try to come up with a NASCAR package on third down to put the best pass rushers out there. So it doesn't necessarily, if that's the goal, you don't have to necessarily have a DN in that position. So I think if you find a dog on the interior, although we have Dexter, although we have Pickens, if you just have a game changer like Fisk, or there was another young man that came out that didn't do the workout at the combine. I can't think of the name right now, but I'll get it for you guys by the next show. It's other guys out there that if they're game changers on the interior and you can slide Javon out there on the edge and allow him with his size and speed and his, you know, pass rush, bull rush, different moves to get off, then you go steal and get interior defensive line. But I think you go edge, in my opinion. I think there's centers. They have options at center. I don't know how much they believe in Ryan Mason, not Ryan Mason. What is his last name? Ryan, that they signed in free agency. I don't know how much they believe he can be the starting center, but I believe if you can get JPJ later on in the draft, I don't think he'll make second round, early second round, late first round. And if you can get him, again, get Caleb as much security as possible. So I'm prioritizing defense because of the style of play and what I think we have to do to win ball games with this football team, and then allow Shane and Caleb to slowly develop him into who he's going to be later on in the season. I don't believe we should, and I've said this over and over and over again, require the kid to come out and have to throw the ball 40 and 50 times per game, because it's just not what he does. Not right now. It's not what he's used to doing in the terms of full reads in this offense. Could he do it? Yes, but I think we got to run the ball, add some RPO stuff in there, and give him some quick hitches, some short game stuff, take advantage of his quick release on some, outs, digs, slants, stuff like that, just to keep the chains moving after you've run the ball in those situations. So let me know how you feel about it in the chat. I know I said a lot, but that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And that's why we love it. Next topic. This is an interesting graphic I saw this week. Kind of speaks to Ryan Poles and how he's developing this team and the position he's putting us in. And this is something kind of I didn't think about and I think a lot of us who talk about, well, build the roster out. We should keep building the team. Shouldn't have traded Justin Fields. We should have kept building the team and all this other stuff. And I kind of stick to that take, but this is a good thing to kind of comfort and ease the minds, perhaps, or maybe not ease the minds of a lot of Bears fans that wanted to build out the roster. So somebody put out the most expensive NFL offenses in 2024. The Bears ranked number 24 in expense for NFL offenses, meaning, it may seem like we threw a little bit of money out there this year, to get Keenan Allen of the sorts, right? Yeah, we get some, kind of like, you won't call them patchwork offensive linemen, but we got some weapons. We got Swift at running back, and you would think, man, we're spending a lot more money than we are competitively on offense versus the rest of the league. But comes to find out, we're still ranked 24th in offensive spending. And I think that's a good thing right now, right? It's a good thing for a number of reasons, right? You draft a rookie quarterback. You got a few years to stretch him out there on this contract before you have to pay the kid. You know what I'm saying? If he paddens out, you can get other pieces on the offensive line, solidify those guys. But more important, it allows you to spend money on this defense. Because I'm telling you, this defense is going to have to be great early on. We have to win some ugly games, low-scoring games. When I'm talking low-scoring, I'm talking about teens, teens scoring in the teens, winning in the teens, putting up, 17, 18, 19 points, winning the game on defense. So I think, this might be a surprise to some. I wanted to mention it, discuss it, because I think, again, it allows the fact that we have space, and it shows you how Ryan Poles is spending money on this roster. Next topic. Is the Bears running back room overcrowded? And if so, who's the odd man out? Now, this is one I'm very interested in seeing what the chat has to say. Definitely going to check those super chats. Definitely going to check our memberships comments out when I get to the DM section to see what y'all have to say for this first. Very interesting topic to me because, again, understanding what I know about offensive football, there's only so many footballs to go around. Y'all thought I was going to say there's only so many balls to go around. Pause. Intentionally said footballs. All right, there's only so many footballs to go around, right? You got Keenan Allen now. You got DJ Moore. You got two serviceable tight ends that's going to want touches, and you have DeAndre Swift, you got Khalil Herbert, you got Roschon Johnson. Who's the odd man out? Who's the odd man out in this backfield? Who's the odd man out in this backfield? Let us know in the chat. I'll go ahead and give you my perspective on this, right? I believe the odd man out, whether we trade him or not, I think the odd man out should be and will be Khalil Herbert. Now, I know it might shock a lot of people because Khalil has gotten better. It's particularly better at pass protection. I think he jumped immensely statistically, and I don't have the graphic for it, but somebody, I think PFF ranked him at one of the highest grades in recent Bears running back history for pass protection. Now, y'all know how I feel about PFF scores, so I'm not gonna, do a whole dissertation on that, right? But I'll say this: I did visibly see the improvement on film on Khalil Herbert's pass protection. I thought he was better. I thought he was more than serviceable when he was healthy at pass protection. But this is the challenge I have with Khalil Herbert. It's just the fact that Swift and Rojo are that much better. And there's a gap there between what they bring to the table and what Khalil brings to the table. I think Swift, and I said this before we even signed Swift, we needed a combination physical and shifty runner that was dynamic. We needed a dynamic runner. And although Caleb can make big plays, it's just like he's just missing a touch. He's missing that, you know what I'm saying? You know what when you see it. It's that physical toughness, finish, ism, if you will, that a back has, that swagger, that, you know what I'm saying, where he's a threat any play. You scared of him. You scared of him getting carried. You scared of him breaking loose. And like I said, although Khalil can break and make big plays, that if I was a defensive coordinator, he doesn't necessarily scare me. I don't come into a week game planning to stop Khalil Herbert, right, per se. And I thought the Bears needed a back that a defensive coordinator had to worry about coming into the week and saying, hey, listen, don't let this guy get going. Don't let this guy get loose. Don't let this guy make plays. He can, get you, falling 4 for 3, 4 or 5 yards. But in the event he breaks one, he can take it to the house as well. And so I thought Swift filled that role for us as the lightning sort of back that we needed. Now you have Roshan, who's very underestimated with his shiftiness, but is more recognizable for his physical running style. And he's much bigger than Swift, who provides that thunder to his lightning that can, milk the clock, wear a defense down, get you tough, third down yardage, goal line, goal to goal type of yardage in the red zone, in the, inside the 10, potentially punching the ball across the goal line, short yardage situation. He provides a different dynamic. And I think together, those two provide a 1-2 punch that can wear defenses down early on, especially if you're Shane Waldron and you're going 12 and 13 personnel with, these big tight ends we have, and we can just go mid-zone and inside zone and just beat the crap out of other teams and not have to try to finesse them so much, right? And again, it's tough to get two backs 20, 25 yards, 25 carries per game in today's NFL, right? I think, again, with our play style, how we need to play early on, this is a good formula for success. Try to get these two guys at least 25 to 30 carries. The problem that comes in is when you add a third guy in, it's not that you can't add them into the equation. It's a matter of getting the running backs rhythm. These running backs are not going to like that. They're not going to like it if I got 3 guys getting 10 carries, right? If I split them evenly as an offense coordinator, hey, guys, you're only going to get 10 carries, right? I think they much prefer, and I know how this kind of goes in locker rooms. Two backs is a problem in a lot of locker rooms. It's usually one guy that wants to be the dude, right, and gets the bulk of the carries. 3 guys is going to be a problem. It's going to get crowded. It's going to get tense. It could potentially, start some static in the locker room you just don't want. So the question coming out of that is, do you keep them, right? Knowing that you can run the ball and pass pro with Swift, right? You can run the ball and you can pass pro with Rojo, right? Do you keep Khalil Herbert on the roster if you agree that he's the odd man out? And do you keep him on the roster and try to get something for him in the trade? That's the question for you in the chat. I'll let you decide. I'll catch up with you when we slide to the DMs. Appreciate you hanging out with me. If you're hanging out, Thank you for watching Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. Again, tune in on Tuesday show. We're going to bring you more hot content. Don't have that program really lined up for you yet, but Thursday we're coming back with Harrison Graham from Bears Now, and then we're going to keep the party going. If you watch this on the playback, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, right? Also, if you aren't already, become a member of the channel. Become a member of Chicago Bears 360, the 360 Nationers. That's what we're going to call you. Become a member of the channel. Support the channel through membership. If you don't support the channel through membership, always open to you is the chats, the super chats, where you can contribute to what we have going on here at Chicago Bears 360, expanding the program, adding staff. We got a creative director now. We got a producer now. We expanding the family. Listen, excited about things that's going on here at Bears, Chicago Bears 360. Next topic. Here we go. This little survey came up that I did. I did a survey. Did a survey as we move towards the Caleb topics. I did a survey on X, Twitter, said, how would you feel if Caleb Williams came to Chicago? How do you feel about Caleb Williams coming to Chicago? I was trying to check the temperature of Bears fans, and this was like kind of a few days after the Justin Fields trade, right? So I thought it was. Hang on a second. I'm freezing up. What's going on here? I'm freezing up. And we're back. Listen, I don't know what's going on here, but it seems like the computer keeps crashing, man. That's crazy. MacBook Pro keeps crashing. Maybe it's time for a new one. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, staying patient, debating in the chat. I left that graphic up while you guys figured out. Appreciate y'all keeping the conversation going. But how do you feel about Caleb Williams coming to Chicago? Hopefully y'all can hear me fine. I just want to point this out, right? So about 50% said they were excited, which I'm not surprised by, right? It was, when we had the whole Justin Fields debate going on, it was about 50%. It got to the point where it was 50-50s, literally divided between the fan base, 50-50 on keep Justin, trade the pick down, keep building around Justin. So 50%, 50.5 are excited, 22.5 are optimistic. So we see the 70-20, 70-30 split flipping the other way, right? A lot of us are more in the optimistic category, right? I think I'm optimistic, not yet excited, because the things that I've said on the program that I want to see on film from Caleb, it has nothing to do with Caleb really right now. The things that I want to see from Shane first, and that's how I'm diagnosing film from now on, having been scarred by the whole Luke Getsy situation, right? I want to see what Shane does first. I want to be able to diagnose, analyze Shane's game plan, his install, his play design, install, game planning, and play calling first before I start kind of grading Caleb, right? So it'll probably be well into the season, probably 4 to 6 games into the season before, after, it's going to be probably midway later on to the season before I start really looking at Caleb per se and how he's playing, even though they're going to be stat boys out there that's, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread because of this number or that number, or he sucks because he didn't put up these numbers and that number. That's not how we do it on Chicago Bears 360. I'm going to look and see what Shane is doing first, making sure he's doing well at his job. And then later on, we'll get into it and start talking about Caleb later on. So you're going to have to be patient, right? But 14.4% are cautious, whatever that means. They're like, you know what I'm saying? We kind of side-eyeing the situation right now. And then the last 12.8%, if I'm reading that, seeing that correctly, they're skeptical. But if you look at it, it really boils down to the 80-20 split, Pareto's law, if you will, 80-20%, you know what I'm saying? The 20% is probably going to be the loudest out there if Caleb doesn't perform, you know what I'm saying, as expected, right? That's, this old adage, man, bad news or negative news travels faster than good news. He could be performing well or well enough for the 80%, but because the 80% aren't out there complaining or tweeting or going crazy, then we really don't hear about them. And then the other 20%, of course, they're going to have a field day with the topic. But let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Y'all got it going on. I see y'all got the chat bussing. Can't wait to get to the DMs and see what y'all got going on, right? So let's do that. Let's do that. Should I do that before we talk about the next thing? Let's jump into it. I can just spend all my time answering comments and questions in the DM, super chats, and so on and so forth. So that begs the ultimate question. The ultimate question is Caleb Williams becoming the best? Is he coming to the best situation? Sorry about that graphic. Is he coming to the best situation for any NFL quarterback, any NFL rookie ever in the history of the NFL? That's the question that we should beg. There's different graphics out there to talk about the luck situation and this one and that one situation. Bottom line, man, you're going to have a top. I'm saying it should be a top 5 defense when it's all said and done, especially if we draft a interior defensive lineman edge that's dynamic. You're going to have a top 5 defense that shouldn't be giving up a whole lot of points. And I hate to compare it to the Justin Fields situation, but we know what it was. That defense was giving up anywhere between 23 to 30 points a game when, during this tenure at various points, right? It was a bad situation, right? And it matters because you can't play complementary football when you're playing from behind all the time. You have to throw the ball all over the yard. You can't sit there and decide, hey, I'm gonna run the ball 30 times a game and shorten the game, all this in the third. You have to play a certain style when your defense has just got more holes than Swiss cheese, right? And they can't stop a nosebleed. So it matters, right? So I think that's going to be one of the factors. And then the other factor is, this is going to be definitively a way better offensive line situation than Justin had in any of your years that he was here. All 3 years, that alone, the D-line, the offensive line, the defense, the weapons, we're going to have more weapons, 2 dynamic tight ends, 2 dynamic receivers, a possession receiver, and a guy that can be both a possession receiver and a threat deep. We're probably going to draft a wide receiver at some point, probably a guy that can stretch the defense, keep the defense honest, third guy that can be your runoff guy if he's a speed guy. I heard the Bears have met with on 30 visit Xavier Worthy. I would love to have Worthy because this team's going to need, I think, a runoff guy if we don't use Scott for that, if we don't use Velus Jones for that. In your offense, you like to have a runoff guy that creates space, a speed guy that can create space by moving the safeties back, right? Whether you're playing 2 high safety or single high safety, a guy that threatens the deep part of the field and create spaces by moving the safety back. We have speed on this offense, but we might get another guy, right? And so it's a lot of good things and pieces that he has around him that just wasn't, if you're honest about it, just wasn't available to Justin Fields, right? The biggest piece, and what always fans will overlook, and I've seen different ones doing doctoral dissertation tweets and tweeting whole, autobiographies of their personal experience on when they played football and why coaching doesn't matter, this, that, and the third. Listen, if you don't think coaching matters, why? I don't even know why you're on our platform, because I'm telling you, all the takes are going to be built off of from a coach's perspective, and nothing to me matters more than coaching. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you can have a talented guy, but I don't care, even in the NFL, you have to put them in positions to be successful. And we've seen where we had at least moderately good talent and we still didn't use them correctly. And so many other teams in the NFL have the same. And so to me, the most important thing that Caleb's going to have is he's going to have a competent offensive staff, top to bottom. I'm talking about not just Shane. I'm talking about Kerry Joseph. I'm talking about Semo. I'm talking about the wide receivers, running backs, coaches. He's going to have a way more experienced and competent staff to put him in position to succeed. He's not going to be able to do it all by himself. This idea that players overcome coordinators is absolutely asinine to me. I don't know where fans get it. It lets me know. It lets me know how many people actually played the game on a high level or coached the game on a high level. Because if you knew the process that coaches have to go through to prepare for one game, you would not have that tape. I'm not even gonna lie. It's disrespectful to me. That's why I have no patience with it. Because you start on day one and the amount of film study and going through the process and missing time with family because you're trying to get that call sheet just right for a game day, as if, you know what I'm saying, coaches just, they just sit out there and bullshit, you know what I'm saying, Tuesday through Saturday and Tuesday through Thursday or Tuesday through Saturday and just roll a product out on the field and say, hey, guys, you're NFL, you're professionals. Just go out there and do what you do and we'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? On the fly. Like, I don't know what kind of Madden league you belong to, what kind of fantasy league, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is, I'm sorry, y'all know I try on Sundays, man, to try to dial it back, but that is damn disrespectful at the highest degree and is why, you know what I'm saying, you'll never probably hear people that kind of have that opinion on this platform sharing the platform with me. It's crazy, bro, to me. But either way, you got to have a Shane Waldron. You got to have a Kyle Shanahan. You got to have an Andy Reid, right? You got to have an Andy Reid. Imagine there's people that really believe Patrick Mahomes would be Patrick Mahomes without Andy Reid. Like, he really would still be doing the same stuff. Like, I would let those people debate with the wall. I would not even have a conversation with them. That's an ignorant conversation for me. You know what I'm saying? There's people that believe, your boy in San Francisco would be the same quarterback if he didn't have Kyle Shanahan, or the 49ers would be who they are offensively without Kyle Shanahan. Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Imagine the 85 Bears without Buddy Ryan. What are you doing? Like that, like he didn't install the 46 defense that pretty much murdered people for an entire NFL football season. And for those of y'all that get to see it, I was 10 years old. It was absolutely a bar fight every play in every game. It was absolutely complete domination. Like, if you got to the 50-yard line, we were pissed off. Like, how did you get to the 50-yard line on this defense? Like, what? Imagine the 85 Bears without Buddy Ryan. Imagine the Baltimore Ravens of that. Was it the 2000s? Come on, man. What are we doing? So this attempt to, you know what I'm saying, dismiss, discredit, and disrespect coaching as an integral part of the game and football, because you don't know what coaches do, then that's a personal projection of your insecurity yourself. That just, I don't know. I'm having a soapbox moment right there because I got triggered. But either way, y'all know how. Let me know how you feel about that in the chat. We finna slide to the DMs and get ready to get y'all out of here. Let's go.
Did you get like some crazy DMs or what?
Very.
Surprises or no?
It's talking like blue check marks?
Yeah, like
people who be sliding and I'm like, wow, y'all fuck with me like that.
Well, Laney says we have to be all in, and I do believe the tape. I don't know about that. I don't know if we all have to be all in. And I'm gonna say this since Lenny brought it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the context behind we have to be all in, but it kind of triggers something, man, that I see on Bears media all the time. Listen, guys, y'all let people fan how they fan. Y'all let people transition over to Caleb Williams, how they transition over to, right? One of the things that drives me crazy on Bears media and Bears DIY media is telling people what they have to do. Like, even the beat writers, they can drive me nuts and their article titles we said, and I don't know if they're trying to trigger fans on purpose or whatever. It's time for Bears fans to get on board is the headline, or we must do this and we must do that. We must do whatever we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Let fans process. Like, it's still people out there that's trying to get over the Justin Fields situation. Listen, you're a Bears fan. Take all the time you need. I know something from sure from being married as long as I am. Trying to force somebody to feel a certain type of way is not going to get you the desired result you want. You're only going to get met with resistance. Just a little old man wisdom for you right there. Trying to tell people how to feel is never going to work for you. We got to get on board. We got to do this. We got to do that. It's not going to work. It's literally trying to mind manipulate the people to out of whatever it is. Let them process at their own timing. Let them get over the situation. Let them adjust and get on aboard with Caleb Williams if that's the pick when they get ready. Some people are gonna, they're gonna have to wait. They want to wait and see before they all in, before they buy a jersey, before they go to games, before they do this, they do that. It's their prerogative. Let these people fan how they fan. I don't know if that's what you meant in check. I don't know, man. I struggle with that one, Starkey. I struggle with that. I struggle, and Starkey's is a friend of the program, longtime supporter. But anytime it gets into and we're gonna have some fun with this during the season, by the way. I got some really good stuff coming up for y'all that's gonna be both funny and informative, right? I can't wait to get to that. But when it gets into the personality diagnosis of personality and all this other stuff, and I saw what Jalen Johnson said about the Hollywood stuff, and I feel like the players, by him saying that, the players are kind of picked up on that already. They have a perception of him already. Like, why do you say the Hollywood stuff if you're Jalen Johnson, if there's not already a preconceived idea about who this guy is as a person? I'll just say this about our platform, about this show. I try to stay away from it because you never know who a person is until you know them, right? You see what you see on TV, you see all these other things, but you never really know. And the thing about sports is tricky, right? The thing about sports and coaching is tricky. You have to be almost borderline narcissistic, over the top, confident in yourself to do what you do, because you're in an ultra competitive alpha male environment and people are always telling you what you can't do. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how I approach this show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see people get away with shit on Bears DIY media that I could never get away with. You know what I'm saying? I see them say shit on Bears DIY media and media that I could never get away with. Right? The rules aren't the same. Right? At the same time, you always have to fight for your respect. You got to always fight for your place in this landscape. So you got to be over the top confident on some 90s rapper type shit because, you know what I'm saying, you feel like you constantly being disrespected and disregarded and dismissed. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? The mentality, because like people really do come after the kid, whether it's his dress, whether it's fingernail painting, whatever the case may be. Again, I just struggle with that, man. So bad. I don't know the history. You know what I'm saying? What if he was a kid? Let me play devil's advocate here. What if he's a kid? Because this resonates with me. What if he was the type of kid was always told what he wasn't going to be, what he can't do, what he's not going to be? You're too short. You're too, whatever. You're too this. You're too that. You're too slow. You this, that, and the other. Eventually, you become callous to that, and you either fold under that or you develop the type of personality you're going to be like, all right, double middle finger to everybody. I'm going to show you MF. Let's go. That's me playing devil's advocate over the situation. I'm just saying, man, like, I kind of get it. I kind of empathize with the kid a little bit. That's why I don't go there, man, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? You want to have a guy that's not confident, that doesn't get in opposing players' faces. Like, come on. Will we say, let me ask you this. Let me ask you another question. Aaron Rodgers is arrogant as hell, right? But Aaron Rodgers yielded results when he was opposite sidelines as us. Like something he had to tap into to get to the place where he decided he owned Chicago, right? Like, do we want to be on the other side of that or don't we? I don't know. What are you willing to compromise? Like, well, are you willing to have it and be a winner? I don't know. Like I said, I leave the questions to y'all, man. I just set the table, leave until somebody convinces me otherwise. I really believe that Caleb Williams' father probably played a part in, the whole Justin Fields trade situation. Like they probably wanted guarantees and concessions, and certain things wouldn't be the case before we decided to go with Caleb Williams. And one of them might have been that Justin can't be on this team. If we bring Caleb Williams in, y'all are not going to try and have both of those guys on the roster fighting it out. All this, I'm thinking about what I would do for my son, and absolutely. So I'm not mad at him either for protecting his kid, looking out for his kid, all this other stuff. A lot is said about what, black fathers don't do and all this other stuff. And, we don't raise our kids and all that other stuff. And then when you get people like Caleb Williams' dad, LeVar Ball, Coach Prime, different ones, and they're involved, then we flip the switch on it. We go the other way with it. So it is what it is, dog. Y'all just going to have to get used to it. But shout out to Caleb Williams, man. Hopefully we draft him. Hopefully we do, just for the sanctity and sanity of Bears fans for at least a little bit. Give us a nice little breather. But I'm not coming off my tape. Jayden Daniels is the most NFL ready quarterback in this draft. I think Washington's going to be fine with him, but you're just not going to get him. You're not going to get your boy because he's coming to Chicago. So with that, man, we out of here. Peace. I'm out. See y'all on Tuesday, man. Hopefully we have some more footage. We'll be able to break down some more position players before we head into the draft. We start April next week, man, so we have a short time to cover these players before we get in the draft. But I appreciate every one of you. For now until next time, man, y'all know what it is. Past, present, future, we always bear down. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.